Hi, it's John here from GPS Train and welcome to the latest walk and talk. On this walk and talk, we're going to be navigating with the Garmin eTrex Touch 35T. If you've read any of the reviews I've written or videos that I've done reviewing GPS units, you'll see I've put this as the best budget touchscreen GPS unit currently on the market. Now on today's walk, I'm not just on my own, I've got a special guest with me, which is Jane, my wife, so welcome Jane to the walk and talk. And we've also got Trudy, which is our cockapoo down the bottom. So we're doing a really nice, gentle, short walk at a place called Harbottle. We're going to do Harbottle Crags, but before we get going, let's see me planning the route on Garmin Base. In front of Garmin BaseCamp, and we've got the Ordnance Survey map up ahead of our walk. So within Garmin BaseCamp, I've just created a new list on the left-hand side. And I'll just go up to the new route tool at the top. And then literally I just click on the map every time there's a major corner and I start creating that route ahead of my walk. Now we're going to go up to Drakestone, take this permissive path up here along the right of way, and we're going to drop back down to Harbottle Lakes. What we'll find on the Garmin eTrex Touch 35 is we've also got what's called a TOPO ACTIVE mapping on there. The TOPO ACTIVE mapping, I've just put onto the screen there, is actually more accurate than what the Ordnance Survey map is. It's where the paths are actually on the ground. So now we've created it on the Ordnance Survey map so we know where our rights of way. It's sometimes a good idea just to edit this route lightly, just move the waypoints back on to where the path is actually on the ground, because you'll see the inaccuracy that we sometimes find with the Ordnance Survey mapping when we're working with an outdoor GPS unit. So again, we can just move these waypoints around. Again, I'm not on a Mac, but on a Windows computer, you'll have some edit tools. I'll just move those waypoints around just exactly where they are. Then we should get that audible beep when we're out walking this walk tomorrow. When we've created the walk, we can just rename it. Just renaming that Harbottle Crags. Saturday, and then let's just right click, send it to device, and literally can send it to my GPS device. Now it's on my Garmin GPS device, ready to walk it. So what do we need to do on this eTrex Touch 25T at the start of the day's walking? We're just going to our hike profile, and you'll see at the bottom it pops up with a little start button. It's 0.00. So we literally, that's our trip and track data. We just press start, and that now is reset our trip and track data. If I press the bottom, you'll see now it's counting up 04, 05, 07, 8. So that's our trip and track data. It shows we've got a full satellite signal there. And the next thing we need to do is just load the route that we planned on Garmin BaseCamp. So on this unit, we just press the magnifying glass where to, select routes at the top. There's our route at the top, Harbottle Crags Saturday. Tap on that, it quickly overlays it on the map. It's just 3.9 miles, and we just press go. And then our GPS will then navigate us around that route. Again, when we're navigating, there's our compass page showing the direction that we're walking in, distance to the next waypoint, estimated time of destination. So what do? As you already know, we just follow that arrow. So we've climbed up out of Harbottle. This is Harbottle back in the background. And then we've got a wonderful Drakestone behind us, this massive stone, which is deposited here during the Ice Age. We've got a nice little story about the Drakestone. I've got a good friend of mine, a guy called Russell, who used to be a National Park Ranger for Northumberland National Park. And he once got a phone call saying, my son is stuck on the top of the Drakestone. He climbed to the top of the Drakestone, he was stuck. So Russell got some ladders, put them on top of his Land Rover, drove up the valley from Rothbury, so about 20 minutes, clambered up here with his ladders, thinking there was a 7-year-old guy or a little boy who climbed up on the top of the Drakestone and was stuck there. When he got here, The lady's son was 31 years of age. So as a 31-year-old that climbed the Drakestone, got stuck. Of course it was the lady's son, but nobody said he was a 31-year-old who climbed on the top of there and got stuck there. So that's a nice little story about the wonderful Drakestone, which is just above the village of Harbottle. So we climbed up past the Drakestone, then we've been past the Harbottle Lake there, and then just passed through a bit of a woodland, and we're now dropping down to a place called Alwinton. Now here I've got my Garmin eTrex Touch 25 on my backpack tether. Remember, you know, I'm a massive fan of the backpack tether. You can see a really nice compact outdoor GPS unit. Now I don't normally do this on walk and talks, but I'm actually going to just compare it briefly to the Garmin Oregon 700, which is exactly the same GPS unit but a slightly larger screen on it. I know a lot of people kind of will question Oregon or eTrex Touch, so let's do a direct comparison and compare each of those GPS units and see what the differences are. So with the eTrex Touch on the left and the Oregon 700. Now I say I don't normally do this on walk and talks, but these units are so similar. I've really got to do it. If you come on a webinar with ourselves at GPS Training, we actually have the same webinar for eTrex Touch users as we do for Oregon users, because actually they're near enough identical. So again, if you tap on the bottom of the screen on both the eTrex Touch or the Oregon, you can see the interface looks the same, and we come back and we go back onto our height profile in that case, and our height profile as well. So really, the eTrex Touch 35 is just a smaller version than the Oregon 700. Now, there are a couple of features we get on the Oregon 700, such as live weather updates, live geocaching. But other than that, the interface is near enough identical on each of these GPS units. So there's our map page. We swipe across, we've got our compass page. We swipe across, we've got our compass page on the Oregon. We swipe up and we've got our trip computer. We swipe across on the Touch and we've got our trip computer. We swipe across on the Oregon, we've got our elevation data. We swipe across on the eTrex Touch, we've got our elevation data. We swipe across again, we're back to our map page. We swipe across again and we're back at our map page. So there's very little difference between each of these GPS units, except for one key thing, which is screen size. So the eTrex Touch has a 2.6 diagonal screen size, with the Oregon 700 has a 3-inch diagonal screen size. So other than that, there's no difference. Now that does affect, of course, your battery life. So you'll get better battery life on the eTrex Touch than what we will on the Oregon 700. So we always say 8 to 10 hours battery life on the Oregon 700, where we're going to get 10 to 12 hours battery life on the eTrex Touch, just because it's powering that smaller screen. So it's all down to your personal preference, really. Again, if you've watched walks and talks in the past, you'll see the majority of the time I navigate on the compass page. Both of them have got a large compasses on, so therefore they're very similar to the navigation experience. If I hold them in my hand, that'll have you a bit of an understanding. There's the eTrex Touch on my hand, and there's the Oregon 700 in my hand. So again, it's something I don't often do, but there we are on a walk and talk. There's my eTrex Touch that we're walking with today compared to the Oregon 700. Again, the interfaces are near enough identical. It's just that screen size. So it's all down if you want a lighter weight, compact GPS unit with a slightly better battery life. The eTrex Touch 35 is worth considering, or alternatively, you want that slightly larger screen with a little worse battery life, the Oregon 700 is the one you should be going for. So as we're walking, we've just got the usual data that we see on any outdoor GPS unit. So we're on our compass page here. It gives us our time to destination, time to next waypoint, we've got a bearing on this point, and also the speed that we're walking at. If we swipe across, we'll go to our compass, our map page, sorry. We've got our compass rose at the top, give us a direction, and down on the map page, down below, we've got our route that we're following. Our elevation data, so it shows now we're dropping, so we're just halfway through that page. We've hit the summit of the walk, which is there, and now we're dropping down to actually the lowest point of the walk. And then we've got our trip computer, haven't we? Speed we're that walking at, 2.2 miles an hour. Moving average, time of day, so it's just 6:15. Stop time, what time the sun sets, and how far we walk. So there's some 1.3 miles. The sun sets at 9:13 this evening. So we've got all the information that we need. We're back to our compass page, which is what I tend to use the majority of the time when we're navigating, because again, I can just see that without having to wear any reading glasses or anything like that. And even on this slightly smaller 2.6-inch screen, that's plenty large enough to follow. So when walking, what do? It's just the same as any other GPS unit. We just follow that arrow and enjoy the walk and enjoy the stunning scenery that we have around. So we've just made our way down from this higher ground. We'll drop down and then we'll walk down the road to a place called Low Alwinton. Now, Alwinton is very famous in Northumberland. This is Alwinton, not Alwinton as the locals called it, Alwinton. This field here is where the show is, the Alwinton Border Shepherd's Show, as you would say in Northumberland, which is the last show in Northumberland. It's usually September, late September is the Alwinton Show. And it's the latest show that we have in Northumberland. It's always the last show of Northumberland. You can just see this bit of a hut on this field here. That's the show headquarters, it is. Alwinton's got a really nice pub, Rose and Thistle. It's a very famous pub. There's often challenge walks, this kind of thing. So they're really the last settlement or the last pub as we go up the valley, as we head even further up the valley. Post Alwinton, the road goes to a single track road, it does, as we make our way. So this is Low Alwinton. Low Alwinton Church is just way to my left. I'm getting a glimpse of it. Low Alwinton Church is just away there. So Low Alwinton Church is there. They have a lot of music concerts, classical music concerts normally in summer. They have a very good stage of music concerts. And we're just carrying on our way. So we've just actually just crossed the River Coquet. So we're now on the north side of the River Coquet. And we'll have a look at that a bit later on. And we're heading towards the Low Alwinton lime kilns. You can just see the Drakestone. That's where we were earlier on the walk. Drakestone is just there on the horizon. If you want to visualise it, this is Simonside in the distance. That's the Simonside Hills in the distance. And there's Jane and Trudy behind me. So, Jane and Trudy, enjoying your walk and talk, are you? Enjoying the sunshine? Are you enjoying the walk? And the GPS navigation? And what does Trudy think of it? Trudy, what do you think? She just likes swimming, Trudy. She's been in the lake, she's been in the river, she's been everywhere. Just like a walk, it's just a bit of a walk, you can see. So let's just have a quick look at our GPS unit and just see how we're getting on our walk today. So I have to always, as I always do, just look at these Garmin screens in bright sunshine. So the sun's shining, you know what, it's absolutely stunning, isn't it? A Garmin screen in bright sunshine is just second to none. If you look awful indoors, but in bright sunshine it's absolutely stunning. So as you can see, it's now pointing me the wrong way. So this is one of the reasons that we put electronic compass on a GPS unit. So electronic compass is to give the accuracy at small movements. So we look at our compass page, you can see it's orientating because I'm just turning it around. Because it's working from satellites thousands of miles above. If I turn my GPS through 90 degrees, it normally wouldn't do anything, but because it's got that electronic compass in, it will then orientate both the directional arrow on the map, on the compass page rather, or the map page as well. So when we go to the map page, I've got it set up so it's what's called track up. So again, I'm looking, it's like holding the map in the direction I'm walking in. So again, you see if I turn, the map orientates. And that's the great joy of having an electronic compass built into an outdoor GPS unit. On the real basic models, we don't get these, but again, when we get up to eTrex Touch 35 and above, and also we'll look at the 32X, we'll look at the eTrex range as well. We have those electronic compasses in it as well. So again, electronic compass gives that accuracy at small movements, which is invaluable, especially when you're going through fields and this kind of thing like we are there. You can see it just rotates. Traditionally, if we don't have an electronic compass in, we need to be moving to get that compass to orientate itself and keep itself moving. So that's the joys of having that electronic compass built in to an outdoor GPS unit. just at the end of the walk. So again, you can see my last waypoint is just there. So again, I've already had my arriving at. Exactly right, you can see the compass spins around, which tells me that I'm actually just going past my last waypoint. My last waypoint's there, it's spun around, which tells me that's it. Now you'll see when I did my route planning on the computer yesterday, you'll see I did my start to finish just a little way apart. So it's quite a nice little tip that. So again, therefore you get navigating off in the right direction you do. So that's me at the end of that day's walking. So hopefully you know what you need to be doing at the end of the day's walking. We need to reset, we need to stop our trip computer. So again, just tap on the bottom. Been going 2 hours 27 minutes, and we literally just press the stop button. Press the stop button. There's our track data, which is the breadcrumb trail our GPS has been creating as we've been walking. So we've done 4.4 miles. We just press the little floppy disk to save that. Next thing we need to do is to stop that navigation. So we're still navigating our route. That's a completely separate entity. So we go press the magnifying glass on our page, and this time we stop navigation. So that's us finishing that walk today on the Garmin GPS, sorry, eTrex Touch 35T. So it's eTrex Touch 35T. So really nice compact GPS unit. See earlier on, very, very similar than the Oregon GPS unit, but just slightly smaller. So really nice multi-activity GPS unit. We didn't look at the start, but you've got various profiles. So if you are someone who does cycling as well as walking, so again, if we jump back into our main profiles, it's got various profiles. We've got cycling, biking, various bits and bobs like that. So there's geocaching. So again, if you are a multi-activity user, it's very much worth looking at this outdoor GPS unit. I very much hope you've enjoyed the latest walk and talk from myself, John, at GPS Training. If there's any units you would like me to cover in future walk and talks, please just leave a note in the comment box below. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, GPS Training. I've also got links in there to all the other walk and talks I've done over the last few months. So again, if you want to look at any specific units, please do just click on there. And thank you very much to our special guests for today. We've got Trudy and Jane for joining me on today's walk and talk. And thank you very much for joining us. And don't forget, please subscribe to the GPS Training YouTube channel.